Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the very first episode of the Thai Terror Review with your host, T. Subkit. So what is a Thai Terror Review, you might ask? Well, it's basically me sitting here and talking about a film. This can be something I just saw, or it could be something that has just been released recently. I would then be critiquing it from an audience perspective and helping you guys decide whether or not to support this film. You know, should I go and see it in the cinema or should I just download it off Pirate Bay? Think of this as a public service, if you will. Oh, and before I continue, I apologize for my English. It's not my first language. So we are 5 months into 2012. There have been surprisingly great film and failure of titanic proportion. I'm not kidding about this. This is really bad movie, man. Don't ever go see it. Just pirate the damn film. But as summers dawn, big budget Hollywood movies are flooding into cinema all over the world with movies that promise to thrill and to blow us away with their big budget special effects. Let's just say that this summer started on a very low note. Before the arrival of the Avengers and Cabin in the Woods, which by the way I'm gonna cover that in the next video, okay, because I really like those two movies. We were given surprisingly big budget but horrifyingly bad movies that I don't know who the hell greenlit it in the first place. The three movies that I have chosen to talk about today, I deem to be pretty much the worst this summer have to offer for us. So without further delays, let us marvel at the abomination that Hollywood have excreted onto the world. The first movie that I want to talk about is Wrath of the Titan, the unnecessary sequel to the 2010 remake Clash of the Titans, starring Sam Worthington as the deadpan, unlikable Perseus. The sequel takes place a few decades after the first film, after Perseus' immortal wife died. Wait, what? What the fuck? She's an immortal. How the hell did she die? Who cares? As he is content with his life of being a fisherman, it turned out that Hades and Ares, the god of death and the god of war, are trying to free Cronus, one of the Titans who once ruled over the universe or some shit. So it's up to Perseus to come out of retirement and along with his sidekicks go on a quest to stop the Titan from being revived. What they freaking do. That's pretty much it. Okay, this is not Games of Thrones, this is not Lord of the Rings, you can't expect more from this kind of film. The movie lacks substance. So the studio way of trying to rectify this weakness is by having as much explosion and big monster everywhere. The movie really weak plot is held together by big special effects and over-the-top action scene. Now this might not necessarily be a bad thing if the action was done right. Like most action movie nowadays, it suffers from very haphazard editing and very shaky cam, which most of the time leave you confused of what is going on screen. However, I have to be fair and say that some of the effects and some of the choreographed action are actually quite decent. It wasn't that bad, it was still pretty haphazard, but it was watchable. 8 times out of 10 you can actually tell what is going on, as opposed to some other blockbuster film that you can't tell what the fuck is going on. The acting in the film is forgettable. Sam Worthington isn't really your hero. I don't know how to explain this. The man doesn't have the charisma of being a hero. He looked like a thug, and his acting skill is bad. I mean, he seemed like the same character from Avatar. I can't get that image out of my head. And he's as stiff as he was in everything else he did. You know, like the Terminator and Avatar, and what the hell else has he been in? I don't know. And Liam Neeson is Liam Neeson. I don't know what else to put about him. He's Liam Neeson there. It's Liam Neeson, man. Look at his listen to his voice. Wow, it's Liam Neeson. That's pretty much it. And he show up like what? Only a quarter of the film, and most of the time he's dying. Now, out of all the 3 that I picked, this is the least bad. And don't get me wrong, it's still bad, but it's more bearable than the 2 I'm about to show you next. And the next film is Battleship. Holy shit. A film based on a board game. Who thought that was a good idea? The film starred Taylor Kitsch. I don't know, I'm not European, I'm not American, I don't know how to pronounce that. And Rihanna. that should give you an indication of how bad this is gonna be. So the plot is about alien invading the Earth. You thought Rat of the Titan was bad? This is worse. While Rat of the Titan might have some originality when it comes to the use of special effects and choreographed action, this movie looked like a deleted scene from Transformer 3. Most of the effects are identical. Most of the scenes are identical. It's like they just reuse everything that they didn't use in Transformer 3 and just put it into this film. It's just basically your big special effect clusterfuck. It's just basically shit blowing up for about 2 hours non-stop. Taylor Kitsch is forgettable. He's pretty much the generic action hero that you pretty much forget right after you saw the film. So there's nothing memorable about him. And I would like to give a shout out to Rihanna. Wow, this movie got worse for just having you on the credit. I'm not kidding. She's really bad at acting. She just should stick with singing or whatever. I don't listen to that crap. But don't ever act for the rest of your life. I mean, her line delivery is so bad. I swear to God, I almost left the theater. It was that bad. It was so forced. She doesn't know what she was doing. She don't know how to express herself. She doesn't know how to she doesn't even know how to yell. I'm not kidding about this. There was a scene in the movie where they just first came into contact with the aliens, right? And Taylor Kitsch fell into the water, and then Rihanna and some fat Samoan guy went to help him. And she are you alright? Are you alright? And the way she delivered the line was so bad. I swear to God, anybody from my class in Thailand and in Glasgow right now can deliver a more convincing performance. I am not kidding about that. But she does get better as the film progresses. Maybe the director realized the mistake of having her in the film, so she's reduced to only shouting and giving one-liners. Thank God. And now we get to the film that I determined to be the worst of the three. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you John Carter, starring Taylor Kitsch and directed by Andrew Stanton of Wall-E fame. Based on a 100 years old science fiction novel written by Edgar Rice Burroughs. The story centers around John Carter, an ex-Confederate soldier who, after having an encounter with an alien, used a talisman to astral project himself to the planet Barsoom, which is the name of Mars in that book. So on the planet Mars, John Carter went around saving princesses, leading an alien horde against a bad guy bent on destroying the planet and marrying the princess, yada yada yada, the whole same story. And you are not going to believe how boring this got translated onto the big screen. This has got to be one of the most unimaginative, boring and generic movie I had ever seen in a while. The set is boring. The action is unimaginative. The story is elementary. There's nothing that's gonna surprise you at all. The characters are either boring or unlikable. Most of the action in this movie is hampered by bad editing and overall unimaginative choreography. There was a scene when John Carter charged into a horde of uncivilized alien and he just went all berserk on them, holding 2 swords and then just wailing on them. And they intercut this with a scene from his past where he buried his family or something, and it became so confusing. And while they cut to the part where he was fighting, it was nothing special. It's just him going and some body just fly this and that, and everything just becomes so confusing that you can't actually appreciate the art of the choreography. Also, there was this goddamn scene in the Colosseum. You probably saw this in the trailer, but during the end of that scene, he challenged this other bad chieftain to a fight, and they had this sword fight which lasted about 5 seconds. Now I don't have anything against that. They were trying to pull this samurai duo kind of thing. In Japanese movie there are scenes where 2 samurai face off, right? They have an intense stare down and then they charge each other. This can be either really fast or in a slow motion kind of way, and then they both swung the sword at the same time, then one of them lives and one of them died. They tried to do this in John Carter, but the editing was so bad. It's they were about to hit each other like this, and then they just cut to the annoying princess, and then the guy gets decapitated. You don't see anything. It was loud, it was too fast, there was no build up to it at all. So it was overall really low standard, if you know what I mean. If you've seen as much martial art or action movie as I did, then you will know this is a very bad piece of choreography. And by God, I hate most of the character in this film. John Carter is boring. Taylor Kitsch again, he's pretty much what happened to him in Battleship. Nobody remember who he is because he's just your basic average action hero with no distinct personality or anything that marks him out. This is just like you throw some guy from a sitcom and put him in like leather and give him a sword. Now, but the character I had the most problem with is the princess. Now, I don't even remember her name. I'm just gonna call her Princess Generic because this is pretty much like one of the Disney princesses being thrown into like a new movie. Now, Disney tried to pull like a hoodwink over every one of us. You know, like they tried to make her like this really strong female character. Oh, she can figure out the power of the laser and or she can do sword fight. But those are all bullshit. I'm not kidding about this. Those are all facade Disney put up to trick people into thinking that this is a strong female character. Now, my point is this: she can sword fight, but every time she always got to be rescued by John Carter. She can think, but her knowledge doesn't sum up to anything. It doesn't help the character, it doesn't help the plot progress, it doesn't really help anything. And the whole goddamn movie, the bitch wouldn't stop whining. Oh, I don't want to marry this guy, or he's evil, I don't care if marrying him is gonna save my goddamn city. And then halfway through the movie she just went against this character immediately and just marry this guy because she just realized already, oh, I'm gonna do it even though I don't like it. Why don't you just figure this out in the first place instead of whining and then dragging the whole damn movie along? And when I was watching this movie the entire time, I was thinking to myself, when is it gonna be over? It's unimaginative and lazy. It's like Pirate of the Caribbean on sand. Wait, didn't we already got that? This is Prince of Persia, but just replace all the Arab guy with green forearm aliens and tan people. As a movie, John Carter was a massive failure. How massive was it? It lost Disney $200 million. Well, I'm pretty sure they recuperate already from the success of Avengers, but it got to the point where they had to fire one of their own CEO out. Yeah, they say he resigned. Yeah, resign. The critics hated it, the audience hated it, and I couldn't agree more. You see, the thing about Wrath of the Titan and Battleship was the fact that it actually managed to be entertaining. Sure, it's a piece of crap movie, but it manages to entertain the base objective of movies like this. And for John Carter, they can't even manage that. They alienate everyone. It's just a very boring and generic film. So that is why, in my most humblest of opinion, John Carter is the worst movie this summer. No amount of PR, no amount of marketing, no amount of hype Disney made is gonna save this movie. And I don't think it's gonna do well in DVD and Blu-ray when it comes out because of the bad word about it already received. So I guess that's pretty much it for the first episode. I hope you enjoy, and feel free to leave any comments down here, and if I do anything wrong, if I can improve anything, feel free to voice your opinion. And that's pretty much it. So until next time, sawadee krap.